Before we dive into this, hit that like button if you believe the Commanders are building something special in DC. And if you think Jayden Daniels and this squad are on a mission for a deep playoff run, or even a Super Bowl, go ahead and subscribe to Commanders HQ. We're your #1 stop for everything burgundy and gold. Now, let's talk about 3 massive headlines rocking the Commanders fan base this week. A key pass rush hole that still needs filling, rookie QB Jayden Daniels getting elite recognition, and a new NFL award that could shine the spotlight on Washington's revamped offensive line. Buckle in, folks. This episode is loaded. Let's start on the defensive side of the ball. Last season, Dante Fowler Jr. came to DC on a short-term deal and ended up leading the Commanders with 10.5 sacks. He brought energy, veteran savvy, and made life miserable for opposing quarterbacks. But here's the bad news. Fowler is gone, heading back to the Dallas Cowboys in free agency. That leaves a big hole in Dan Quinn's pass rushing plans. While the Commanders have brought in Dietrich Wise and Jacob Martin to help carry the load, Bleacher Report's Mo Moton believes they're not enough. His solution? Bring in Jadeveon Clowney. Yes, Clowney. The 3-time Pro Bowler, former #1 overall pick, and still a force at age 32. Last year with the Panthers, Clowney racked up 46 tackles, 9 for loss, 5.5 sacks, and 22 pressures, while playing 64% of defensive snaps. And remember, that was in Carolina. Put him in a system like Quinn's, with a supporting cast that includes Jonathan Allen and Daron Payne, and Clowney could easily push for double-digit sacks again. Now, some might say he's past his prime. But here's what makes Clowney valuable. He's not being asked to carry the entire load. In Washington, he'd be part of a rotation. He brings versatility against the run and pass, veteran leadership, and playoff experience. For a team looking to compete right now in a stacked NFC East, that kind of addition could be the difference between a 9-win wildcard team and an 11-win division champ. Adam Peters, if you're listening, you've got the cap space. Let's make the call. All right, from the trenches to the face of the franchise, Jayden Daniels has taken the league by storm, and Pro Football Focus just dropped a ranking that has Commanders Nation buzzing. According to PF's John Kosko, Daniels is already the 6th best quarterback in the NFL. Let that sink in. 6th best overall, after just 1 season. We're talking about a rookie campaign that included 3,568 passing yards, 25 touchdowns, only 9 picks, plus 891 rushing yards, and 6 scores on the ground. He was a dual-threat nightmare, and PFF's grading backs it up. Daniels earned a 90.6 overall grade, the highest ever recorded for a rookie QB in their system. Now, I know some folks are worried about the dreaded sophomore slump, but Costco hit on something key. Daniels' poise under pressure. He made clutch throws in tight windows, extended drives with his legs, and elevated the entire offense. This isn't hype. This is production, leadership, and consistency. The NFC is wide open. After the 49ers, the Eagles look shaky. The Cowboys just lost more than they gained. And the Giants? Well, let's not even go there. If Daniels keeps ascending, Washington has a legitimate shot at running the table in the NFC East. Now, let's give some love to the big boys up front. You've heard me say this before. If Jayden Daniels is the engine, the offensive line is the steel frame protecting him. And in 2025, those unsung heroes are finally getting some long overdue recognition. The NFL has announced a new award, the Protector of the Year. It's designed to honor the league's best offensive linemen, starting this season. And guess what? Washington has legit candidates to win it. We're talking about new left tackle Laramie Tunsil, arguably the best pass protector in football right now. Adam Peters pulled off a major coup landing him from the Texans this offseason. Add in rising talent like Ricky Stromberg, veterans like Sam Cosmi, and rookie depth from this year's draft, and this group is ready to dominate. This award is a game changer. It's not just about pancake blocks or highlight reels. The criteria include skill metrics, leadership, durability, opponent, strength, overall impact, and it'll be judged by an all-time greats panel. Names like Orlando Pace, Andrew Whitworth, Will Shields, and more. Buffalo's Deion Dawkins helped push for this award, saying, "We might not have the fancy stats or highlights, but without us, there's no rushing titles, passing records, or touchdowns." Couldn't agree more. And with Washington's offense trending up, don't be shocked if one of our own linemen, maybe Tunsil, walks away with the first ever Protector of the Year trophy. Life comes at you fast in the NFL. And for Daron Payne, it just slammed on the gas. What once looked like a franchise-defining defensive tackle tandem between Payne and Jonathan Allen has officially been split up. Allen is gone. Released ahead of the final year of his deal, a move that sent shockwaves through the locker room and fan base. And now, all eyes turn to number 94, the last man standing, the top dog. The Commanders' highest-paid player in 2025, with a staggering $26.17 million cap hit. And according to one respected team insider, the pressure on Payne couldn't be higher. Ben Standig from The Athletic, one of the most plugged-in reporters in the Commander's orbit, didn't mince words ahead of OTAs. He flat-out called this a make-or-break season for Daron Payne. Here's the quote that's making headlines. "Even if there's a role or usage excuse following last year's coaching staff change, the hulking 320-pounder rarely made a distinct presence in games compared to those 2022 highs. Doing so this season would not only help lift a potentially meh line, but also put Payne in a position for another significant contract from Washington, or another team, entering his age 29 season." Translation? If Payne doesn't return to form, and fast, he could be on the chopping block. Cut. Gone. Just like Allen. And considering Adam Peters isn't afraid to move on from high-priced veterans, just ask Kendall Fuller, Logan Thomas, or Charles Leno Jr. That's not just talk, it's reality. Let's rewind for a second. Remember 2022? Payne was unstoppable. A 6'3", 320-pound wrecking ball who racked up 11.5 sacks, 18 tackles for loss, and 20 QB hits. He looked like a future All-Pro. A cornerstone. The Commanders rewarded him the following offseason with a 4-year, $90 million extension. But since signing that deal, the production dipped, the dominance faded, and the fire? It just hasn't. Looked the same. Sure, you can blame scheme changes. You can argue the coaching staff didn't put him in position to win. But the NFL doesn't do excuses. And certainly not at $26 million a year. Payne now enters year 3 of that mega deal with no Allen beside him, a completely rebuilt defensive staff under Dan Quinn, and a young, hungry front seven around him. And he's being challenged to be the guy. No more shadows. No more pass the baton. This is his moment. The good news, Payne won't be alone on the interior. The Commanders made a smart move this offseason, bringing in Javon Kinlaw, the former first-rounder, from San Francisco, to add depth and explosiveness to the defensive tackle rotation. And let's not forget Johnny Newton, last year's second-round pick out of Illinois, who is itching for more snaps after a promising rookie season. Together, that trio gives Washington a powerful mix of size, athleticism, and upside. But make no mistake, Payne is the engine. He's the leader. He's the tone setter. And he'll be the one held accountable if the Commanders' defensive line underwhelms again in 2025. Quinn and Joe Witt Jr. are counting on Payne to be more than just a space eater. They need him to collapse pockets, disrupt plays, and lead. By example, this isn't just about stats. It's about impact. Here's where things get real. If Daron Payne underperforms again in 2025, the fallout will be swift. Washington can save over $14 million against the cap in 2026 by cutting him outright. That's money Adam Peters can use to lock up younger players like Jayden Daniels, Luke McCaffrey, or Jayden Newton down the line. Payne turns 29 next year. He's approaching that dreaded point where teams stop seeing upside and start seeing dead weight on the balance sheet. That's why this year is a career-defining moment. A bounce back puts him back in the Pro Bowl conversation. Maybe even extension talks if he dominates. But another down year, he becomes yet another overpaid vet, lost in the shuffle of a regime shift. This is the new standard under Peters and Quinn. Produce or pack. And here's what makes all of this so intriguing, Commanders fans. This is bigger than Daron Payne. This is about setting a tone. Under Ron Rivera, there were times when veterans coasted, when accountability felt optional. But under Dan Quinn, under Adam Peters, that leash is a whole lot shorter. We're already seeing it across the roster. Allen, gone. Leno, gone. Thomas, gone. Curtis Samuel, replaced. Nobody is safe unless they produce. So now, Payne becomes the perfect test case. Will he rise? Or will the Commanders cut bait and keep this youth movement rolling? Commanders fans, let's recap. You've got one of the best young quarterbacks in football, getting elite praise from national media. You've got a defensive front with a missing piece, one that could be solved tomorrow by signing Jadeveon Clowney. And now, you've got an offensive line that's not just dominant, but finally getting recognized at the league level. This roster is rounding into shape. Adam Peters and Dan Quinn have flipped the culture. And if you're not excited about what's coming this fall, check your pulse. If you made it this far, show some love. Smash that like button. Drop a comment with your thoughts on signing Clowney, yay or nay. And don't forget to subscribe to Commanders HQ for the latest news, rumors, and analysis. This is our time. The NFC East is up for grabs. Let's go take it, HTTC.